not just for working out and training your mind and the different challenges that you'll have to embrace every day, but think about what that does is you're creating resiliency and perseverance to show that you can overcome something in a workout so that when you hit the real world and you got to face a challenging problem, you're just creating some inner toughness that, yeah, I can do this. Welcome to Fitness Unlocked, your ultimate guide to health and human performance. I'm Kevin Andres and I'm thrilled that you're here. Our episode today is brought to you by K-Squared Fitness, which is our company. We consider ourselves to be a leading online fitness program dedicated to helping athletes like you achieve greatness. Whether you're aiming to improve your aerobic capacity, get better in the CrossFit world, conquer strength training, get better at mobility, whatever it is, we've got you covered. At K-Squared Fitness, we believe that every athlete deserves a program that is specific to your unique needs and help you overcome the hurdles. But get ready to dive in today. We're going to be talking about some of the things that I would do if I were to start completely over and if I were to lay a groundwork for someone who is brand new to the sport of CrossFit or hybrid training, whatever you want to call it. So we've got some special stuff in store for you. And if you've never kind of taken an overall look at how your training should be and some things that you should prioritize and what it looks like to get plugged into the sport, that's what we got going on today. So let's dive in. So the first thing I'd like to do is give you a little bit of backstory on me and my fitness career and now how I've moved to helping others and be alongside you guys. So in high school, I did tons of sports: basketball, baseball, cross country, track. I swam, and then collegiately, I played college basketball, and then after that, I went on to play in the American Basketball Association, which is the ABA. And that career ended pretty abruptly, and after that, my odds are kind of stacked against me. I probably should have played baseball, but basketball was my passion because I love to practice and I love to train. After that, I joined the military, and I was a part of a special operations group, TAC-P for the Air Force. However, after a year, I lost my top secret clearance because of some poor decisions that I made when I was younger, and I got pulled from the program. So a lot of the stuff that I was chasing and that I was pursuing got pulled from me, and that's why I'm so thankful that I found CrossFit and competing, because it gave me something to train for on a daily basis. And someone who loves to practice and loves to get better, when I got exposed to it, it was so great because, I've only got about a quarter of the stuff on my wall back here from the amount of triathlons and 5Ks and all the things that I've done. But that style of training was awesome, but I really missed the skill component. Running fast and biking fast and swimming fast was cool, but I love CrossFit because all these different skills: muscle ups, handstand walk, toes to bar, snatching, overhead squats, the skills or double unders, all the different stuff was so engaging to me because it gave me an opportunity to practice something, and I love to train and I love to practice. So I think that was about 2011, and then I moved all over the country, several different cities, and I've been personal training since 2008. I had some stuff in between there, but I've been training athletes for a very long time, and I love to help people overcome these skills. And I dedicated my personal training to each year a block of fitness so that I could really test on myself before I tested on others. So all the different skills I've gone through, and I've really learned a ton so that I could help out others. Not even just in the CrossFit world, but I've been fortunate enough to work with tons of pretty high-end celebrities. I've gotten to work with NFL athletes and work with just regular people who just want to get better, or high school or collegiate athletes, or people who are new to the sport. I've worked with a little bit of everybody in the past 10 years. So no matter where you're at, I'm confident that in some capacity I can help lay a foundation and some groundwork for you to help build your journey and help you get better. And if you're someone who's actually just beginning this entire process and you're trying to learn all these different things, this is going to be a fantastic resource for you because, to be quite honest with you, I am pretty obsessive over all this stuff, and I love writing workouts and creating programs and creating different ways to scale exercises. So that's exactly what we created at K-Squared Fitness, is a platform where you get a daily workout depending on where you're at in your fitness journey. If you're just starting, or if you're a competitive athlete, or you want to get better at gymnastics, we've got tons of different programs to help meet you where you're at. So if you're just getting started, this is going to be a great video for you, and I'm going to lay out the entire groundwork for you. So let's get into it. I also want to bring up that I am not affiliated with CrossFit. I have just competed in the sport of fitness for a very long time and work with several different athletes. And so we are different, but I am actively involved. I'm just not an affiliate owner. Let's talk about what CrossFit is, and that's constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. So, when I first got exposed to the sport, I was, probably like most of us, seeing the kipping pull-ups and not quite understanding what was going on. But as you learn, as you progress, that's actually a way to achieve more power output and to be able to reach a certain stimulus. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but if we're trying to go as fast as we possibly can, we want to learn that skill. Notice I said learn the skill. It's not just something you start out doing. You have to build the strength requirements first before you start kipping. It's actually much more challenging than you think. We want to start with mastering strength first, then learn to kip, and then we can add speed and efficiency. But CrossFit is all about functional movements, challenging you and your body to get into different positions at a high intensity without sacrificing form. Just like anything else, there can be good coaches and there can be bad coaches, good movement and poor movement. We want to focus on quality movement, getting really strong first before we add in the skill and the complexity of the different higher level stuff that you might see. And this training style is so beneficial, not just for working out and training your mind and the different challenges that you'll have to embrace every day, but think about what that does is you're creating resiliency and perseverance to show that you can overcome something in a workout, so that when you hit the real world and you got to face a challenging problem, you're just creating some inner toughness that, yeah, I can do this. Or if you're going out with your kids or your family and you're trying to be active, that working out is so much more than who's winning the workout and going as fast as possible. It empowers you to have a good quality of life because you feel better, you look better, you have more energy, all these different things that come along with exercise. And this gamification has just made the exercise part of it really fun because, let's be honest, hitting the supersets on bench press and lat pull downs and pull-ups and bent over row kind of gets boring after a while. And you can only think of so many supersets, and we've all been there. And if you're someone bridging the gap from that bodybuilding world or split training style, we have a really great program called the K2 Fitness Program that kind of blends a little bit of CrossFit-y stuff, a little bit of muscle work, so that you can kind of ease your way into, instead of just diving headfirst in. And I'm confident after you get a little taste of it and you start to see what it does to your body, not only physically, because the aesthetic portions of and the results of the high intensity training is fantastic. I've got some friends who, when I first met them, they were working out for 5 days a week, 90 minutes a day, and they were just regular people. They weren't trying to compete or anything. They were just doing split training. They came over to this side of training, high intensity, shorter duration. They're getting better results, and who doesn't want better results? We've got all that stuff over at ksquaredfitness.com. I would say the biggest difference about actually moving to a CrossFit style of training is the community. If you're fortunate enough to get plugged into a local box, the thing that you're going to notice right away is you're not walking into a gym, putting in your headphones, doing your own thing, jamming out to your music, and although that's something that I absolutely love every once in a while, the thing about CrossFit is that the community is so strong. You can walk into a box or good online programs and they have a sense of community. People that are excited for you to be there, people who want the best for you for what you're trying to accomplish. As you take on all these different new skills and new challenges, the community will help lift you up and help share tips and tricks on some of the things that they've done. So the community aspect is fantastic. And, as you get, at least for me personally, and from a lot of experience that I've had with working with people, as you get outside of your collegiate career or sports, if you even did any of that, going into your career world, it's so nice to be able to have a disconnection from work and working out and have a different set of friends who are active and want to improve, and just can't get over how awesome it is to see the guys that I train with on a daily basis. Community is awesome. So if you're fortunate enough to get plugged into a local CrossFit box, it's the best thing that I could recommend for you. Have a coach who's there with you. But if you're someone who trains from your garage or the class schedules don't work out, that's one of the things that we have at K Squared Fitness is a online community. So yes, we provide a awesome workout for you in scaling and modification so you can get your program of the day. But meeting online friends and people that you can compete against or lift up and share your videos and get coaching feedback, That's extremely valuable for a lot of people. And we try very hard to create a sense of community in an online platform that makes you feel inclusive and that you're cared about. Now, if you're coming over to these movements like the clean and jerk and the snatch and the overhead squat and kipping toes to bar, and you're just trying to dive right into it, it's very likely that you might develop, some shoulder pain or some hip pain, or your back hurts and all these things. And I say this to say that everything should be layered on top of each other slowly. The importance of mastering things with proper form first is going to be significant to your health and your longevity of your body. Start off super slow, master positions, in fact, even working on tempo and control and isometrics and all these different layers that we apply in personal training with our people. We correlate into the online program as well, but slow progressions. Even if you are capable of doing something, get really strong first before you start adding in all this volume and so much on your shoulders, because let's be real, you're probably not doing as much mobility work or stretching as you need to. So with that being the case, pull it back a little bit, master the foundations, and start to prioritize mobility and stretching. And I just want to give you a little bit of an outline here of what I would like to see as far as progression. So let's talk about mastering single leg work first. So things like Bulgarian split squats, lunges, working on that unilateral mechanics first so you can identify if you have any weaknesses in your hips or lack of stability. From there, you can begin to work on mastering a bodyweight squat, a goblet squat, a double front rack kettlebell squat. And we do this because we're trying to get stronger in our midline and strengthen our core now that we have the stability of single leg stuff worked in. Then after that, you want to progress to, either a front squat or a back squat. And you want to do this with tempo. When you're trying to learn a new mechanic or a new body mechanics, we want to master things with the right form. So if we slow things down and we go at a 3-second down, a 2-second hold, explode up, you're going to really dial in on the mechanics. And if you're not there, if you're not taking this route and you skip straight to this stuff and you start going for 1 rep maxes and all that, it's very likely that some of the movement patterns or deficiency are going to be exposed, especially when you start ripping off the floor a deadlift, or which goes directly in to power cleans and power snatches. It's extremely important, is what I'm trying to say, is to build the proper foundations first and prioritize mobility so you can be strong in those positions. Since we're talking about the importance of movement quality, let me just give you a small outline as well of what your workout should look like. Assuming most of you guys who are just getting started out, probably going to be looking at something like 45 minutes to an hour workout. You should spend a little bit of time foam rolling, doing some prep work, kind of mobilizing or preparing the body for what's to come in the workout. Then I like to go through a general warm-up where you're trying to create the same movement patterns of your workout. So, if you're going to be doing toes to bar later, maybe in your warm-up you're getting your heart rate up a little bit, then you're doing some V-ups. So you're doing some variation where you went to V-ups and then maybe you progress to like some kip swings on the bar, and then maybe on round 3 then you can get a couple of toes to bar. So I like to go general preparation, some type of warm-up. This is a piece that I find a lot of programs or a lot of people aren't prioritizing, and that's a prep phase. I like to think of this part of the training block as proactive as reactive, and this is the type of stuff where we do things that you would do if you went to see your local physical therapist, which ideally we're trying to avoid them, but they're great at getting us to be back to where we want to be. But my belief is like, hey, this should be a part of your regular training, and if you're doing these exercises, it's going to help delay that process so you don't have to go to see them when you need to get fixed. So some corrective exercises, something like 5 to 8 minutes worth of different drills that whatever the day, if you're doing deadlifts on that day, you're doing a lot of hip airplanes, single leg RDLs, cobra press ups, banded payloft holds, lots of different things that are going to help stabilize your spine, get you strong in the position so you're primed and ready to go. After that, some type of strength block, and then a conditioning piece. Now, when it comes to conditioning, this is where a lot of people really need to just be humble with themselves. Let's talk about this. Let me just write out a workout real quick. If I went conditioning, and let's say we had 3 rounds for time, let's go like row 400 meters, 20 toes to bar, and then 10-yard handstand walk. Just throwing something together right here. You might see that and you might be like, okay, I can't handstand walk and I can do 3 toes to bar. So much of this game is about scaling to your unique abilities and getting the right training stimulus. So if you see this, the goal, everyone can row, yes. The goal is not to do 20 toes to bar where you're doing sets of 2. I'm doing 2 reps, I'm doing 2 reps, I'm doing 2 reps. That's going to take forever and you're going to lose the desired training stimulus. And if you see a 10-yard handstand walk, we don't want to use this time to just practice handstand walk and falling over every time. So some examples would be of how you can scale. You can decrease the reps, which I prefer not. I prefer to change the skill. So if we change the skill to something like a, kip to where you're just trying to break parallel, or some V-ups, and we're trying to create that muscular endurance and create that volume so you can get stronger and keep your heart rate up and use time outside of the workout to where you can actually practice skill work. And skill work is an opportunity for you to practice like, okay, I'm going to do 10 sets of 5 toes to bar and rest as needed. If you do that style of skill training 10 minutes after your session, a few days a week, that's how you can build volume and efficiency. And then same thing with the handstand walk. You can just progress down to lots of different variations, and we provide those different variations within our program, but finding something that is similar or the same time domain as how long it would take you to do a 10-yard handstand walk. That way you can get the desired training stimulus and you can get the right workout. Let's talk next about what is the minimum level of equipment that is required. To me, if you got a pair of dumbbells, you have something to do cardio on, like a jump rope, and a pull-up bar, you can rock and roll. You can get a great workout with a pair of dumbbells so you can add in some strength work, something to get your heart rate up. If you got a jump rope, awesome. You can run, you can do burpees, lots of different variations. And then a pull-up bar, that allows us to get a fantastic workout. And this is what we would call our minimal equipment program, and that's all you need. Now, if you're getting into more complex things and wanting to get into some of the Olympic lifts, or some of the more gymnastic skill, you gotta have a barbell, gotta have a squat rack, bumper plates, gymnastics rings, box jump, kettlebells, lots of different stuff. And that's what I actually love about it. You can build this stuff up slowly over time, but the variation of the training is what's so cool. You're constantly varied, doing something different all the time. And I swear I've been doing this sport and training this style for 12 years now, and I haven't done the same workout repeated very often, it seems like. Now I'm not inventing new exercises. CrossFit isn't inventing new exercises, but you're doing a lot of different variations, and I just love that part. So we've talked about quite a few different things. What I want to discuss next is probably the coolest thing that we offer at K-Squared Fitness. I've talked about what your workout should look like, how to scale workouts, but being a personal trainer, I wanted to create something that would allow to act as a personal trainer from an app. So I'm going to show you an example here. We talked about handstand walks earlier, right? You see that in the workout, you're either discouraged or you can't do it, or you can, but maybe there's some other skills. I wanted to create something that was as easy as clicking a button, and if I were to work with you, I would say, let's master this. You got that? Now let's try this. You've done this? Okay, now let's try this. You got that? You get the idea. Gradually progressing yourself up to where you can do a handstand walk. But earlier we talked about how important it is to build the foundations, get really strong first, right? So if we can get strong and we can build the foundations, this stuff will come as you accumulate skill. Now, in order to do that, we've created this level system within our app, within our program, where on the screen you will see the video. I'm sure I can do an overlay here, and there's a button there and a button there that says harder or easier. So if there's a skill that you want to improve, you might be on this level here. You click this button, it'll level you up there. Once you've mastered this, you can click that button and it'll level you up. It'll take you through a step-by-step progression so you can master through. I'm so extremely proud of it because it's made personalization to an online platform for athletes who want to get better and can self-regulate. Of course, they can always reach out to us as coaches, but being able to modify on the spot, just like we would be in a personal training session at a fraction of the cost. You know, personal training with me here in Nashville is just about $200 an hour. This online platform with all these different programs that I'm talking about, you can get it for as low as $19 a month. We've got a ton of different programs in there: gymnastics, strength training, mobility, competitor, beginner, engine, swimming, Olympic lifting, all types of different trainings at a fraction of the cost. And we would love to have you join us. And if you'd like to see how all of this actually takes place on your side of things, how we can customize the program to each and every skill level of where you're at, head over to K-Squared Fitness or down in the link. I'll put a link down in the description below. You can find all the different programs and you can try our programs out for free in the first week. In that first week, I would love to get on a call with you. I'll shoot you an email where you and I can get on a call. I can help you get on track with the right program, answer any questions you might have, and just help you out. I'm a super passionate coach who wants to help athletes out, get better at the sport, have fun, and remember all these things that we're talking about is to improve our health and our overall wellness and be a part of an awesome community. And no matter what fitness level you're at, we got a program for you, and we're ecstatic to have an opportunity to potentially help you out. But thank you guys for tuning in for today. Longer form video style. We love helping people go from beginners to proficient to RX to even competing in local competitions. One of my goals one day is to have a large enough community online to where we can go around the country and hold different little camps, and we can all get together and we can take on this journey together. And we can't do it without each and every one of you guys. So if you'd love to join the program, click down the description below. We've got a link to get plugged in. We'd love to have you. Our app is pretty sweet. So get plugged in, and I hope to see you on the other side.